And caller, is this Megan Graham? Can you unmute? So I have an email message from Miss Graham that says I'm on the phone portion.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I did it. It's Megan.
Excellent. I'm going to, can I rename? I'm going to rename so I can see you. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So we at least have your name appearing on the screen, and we can hear you if you, there you go. Excellent. So if I may call, I'll call the roll. Chair Brumley
Here.
and Megan Graham,
Here.
Ben Morris,
Here.
Martha Mosier, Ms. Romsbacher,
Yes, here.
Asia Rogers,
Here.
and Dolores Sáenz Davila.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum, and we have Attorney Patrick is here. Do I have Attorney Andrew?
No, he won't be here today.
Okay. Then we have a quorum, and we can begin whenever you're ready.
Sarah, I was going to say, it looks like maybe one of the board members is in the attendee side.
Yeah, and she's called in by phone,
Oh, okay.
and I don't have an option to promote her to a panelist, but she is unmuted and we can hear her.
I meant Jennifer Swords. Is she should be moved over?
So I see that she's on the attendee list, but when I click on her name, I do not have an option to promote her to a panelist.
I got it. I'm sorry for holding it up. I was okay.
That's okay.
But Patrick, you're talking about Jennifer, not Megan, correct?
That's correct.
He's talking about Jennifer, who I don't think she's been through the approval process yet to be a full board member.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and just to that note, I did get an email from whoever those people are this week that says we're scheduled for April 19th for our hearings. So if that helps you, Sarah, or if you even need to know that happened. So
Very good to know. Thanks.
okay. So with having a quorum identified, we will go ahead and call the meeting to order. So today being April 2nd, 2021, it is now 8:35 a.m. and we will call this meeting of the Texas State Board of Social Work and Examiners to order. With that, I would like to ask if everyone's had opportunity to review the meeting minutes from our March 5th video conference board meeting. And if so, we need to have a motion to approve those notes.
I make a motion to approve the notes.
Okay, have a motion from Audrey.
This is Megan. I'll second.
All right, and a second from Megan. All those in favor of approval of the notes from March 5th, 2021, please signify by raising your hand saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Having so passed, we will move to addendum number 2. So this is discussion and possible action regarding public comment on proposed rules that were published in the February 19th, 2021 Texas Register and recommendations to the Texas Behavioral Health Executive Council concerning adoption of Code 22 of the Texas the Texas Code for, and we can do these together, I'm assuming. So number A on our agenda is 781-803, which is in relation to severity levels concerning the removal of reference to a rule that was previously repealed, and B 781-312, which has to do with licenses and the council, 781-805, schedule of sanctions concerning repeal and requirement that licensees must report any and all employment settings to the council, and removing sanction for failure to timely report name or address change to the council. So having heard that, has everyone had opportunity to review those? And I guess what I could ask Board Administrator Sarah, is there any significant public comment on either of these?
I received no public comment on either proposal.
Okay, so having had no public comment, board members, is there any discussion or questions that y'all would have about these actions? Hearing,
No.
I guess I would open the floor to motion for approval.
This is Megan. So moved. I think it's taking us into the modern era.
Okay. So we have a
Second.
and who was that seconded? Was that you, Audrey?
I second.
Oh, it was Dolores. Okay. All right. So we have a second motion and a second. So all those in favor of approval of agenda item number 3, both A and B, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
So motion passes, and those will be, Sarah or Patrick, would one of y'all mind explaining the next step? I know it's not an immediate process, but these happen. They first have to go to the BHEC board for approval, and then it happens, or there's another waiting period.
These are proposed to the council to then adopt. And so at the next council meeting, they'll be put before the council to be voted on and approved. And once they're approved, then they'll be published in the register for adoption. So the final adoption and implementation is when they're published in the register.
Okay. So there's still 2 months away before that actually happens.
The next council meeting is May 4th.
Okay. So pretty quick. All right. Thank y'all for that. So then we'll have item number 4, report from the board chair concerning challenges, accomplishments, so forth. It's all there in your agenda. Since our last meeting, I don't really have any major updates. I do want to thank those of you who took the time to participate. I had asked, we had a licensure request or a testing request from an applicant that was a little out of the ordinary, and Sarah was able to get that taken up, and we've got that handled now, and it's moving forward through the process. So other than that, I have no report. So then we will move to report from board administrator. Sarah, anything? I know you sent us a report yesterday or day before that was from, I think, last time, and you sent some scheduling information.
So I did send you just an update on the council's rulemaking process. These are rules that affect all 4 member boards. So they were published in the February 19th Texas Register. The public comment period ended on March 21st, and the council will review these rules regarding license statuses and continuing education and audits again on May 4th. So just to keep you informed on the council's activity there. I also included, I sent to you recently the second quarter council performance measures by email. Just to let you know that was there. And then I've sent a proposed meeting schedule, as we talked last time. The way the schedule currently exists, the quarter ends And then a few days later, there's the social work meeting, which means we won't have that quarterly report done in time for the meeting as it's currently scheduled. We can revamp the schedule by email. We don't need to discuss that today, but I wanted to make sure that you all received it. I sent it by email yesterday. And then if you could just reply back to me by email, if those dates work for you, or if another date around that time works for you. And I've shown you what the conflicts currently are, and we can work that out then. And then I'll post it on the website, the updated schedule as we go forward.
Sarah, on that report that you sent us, and either I'm not clear on how to read it, or the commas and periods or something, but was that saying things like 800,000 days that it took to? I mean, that's like 2,000 years. I was confused at that. I don't have it in front of me, but I know that I'm looking at something incorrectly. You just said it yesterday. Let me see if I can pull it up right.
Are you looking at the report to the budget office that's signed by Director Spinks, or are you looking at the calculations report?
I think the calculations report. I'm looking at yeah, so it's the
Are you looking at this one?
yes, and as you scroll down towards the bottom, average time for complaint resolution, it says first quarter 751 days to resolve 104 complaints. What does that mean?
Chair Brumley, the way we have to calculate the average complaint resolution day, we take the total number of days that it takes to resolve each complaint, add them all together. That's where you're coming up with 123,000 days. Then you divide it by the number of complaints resolved. That gives you the average number of days for each complaint. Per complaint.
Okay, so I'm still confused, Daryl. So that the first one in the first quarter, the average is 1,189 days.
Correct.
So does that mean that complaint was from the point it came in until the point some resolution was made? That's the number of days for the average number for that complaint period.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that was that first number out there, that 6-digit number was very confusing to me.
Yeah. It's shocking at first.
Yeah.
When you see it, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we haven't lived that long yet.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's how we have to calculate the average number of days it takes to resolve a complaint.
Okay, that I can understand that then. Okay, sorry for interrupting, Sarah. You have anything?
That's okay. And the final thing for me to report is that on March 26th, the Rules Committee met, and the rules that were discussed at that meeting will be presented to the board at its summer meeting as soon as we have that date settled.
Okay.
That
All right.
concludes my report.
Thank you. So that moves us right along to public comment. Is anyone from the public out there?
So we do have a number of attendees. Please know that under the Open Meetings Act, the public comment part of a meeting is to allow the public to address a government body. It's not intended for a discussion or a question and answer session with the board. If a commenter brings up an issue that a board member believes should be addressed, the board member may request that the issue be added to a future agenda. The board member may make this request during or after the meeting by emailing the request to the board administrator. An issue must be scheduled to a future agenda item because a government body can only take action on items that are listed on the agenda. If a commenter has a question or concern regarding a pending application or complaint, please send an email message to licensing@bhec.texas.gov or enforcement@bhec.texas.gov. If you will please use the raise your hand feature in Zoom to let me know that you have a public comment. I will select you and ask you to allow you to unmute, ask you to identify yourself and whether you are speaking individually or on behalf of an organization. And all public comments will be limited to 3 minutes unless otherwise directed by the chair. So I see a couple hands raised. Miss Sandra Martin, do you have public comment?
Yes, ma'am. Very simple. Good morning. Thank you so much for the hard work that you do. I am Sandra Martin. I have previously identified as chair of the Governmental Liaison Committee. I had the shocking discovery that I personally am the governmental liaison, so I'm new in my thinking from group to individual. So thank you for your service. We appreciate you, and we certainly appreciate the way you do your meetings. You're always very efficient and quick. Thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you, Miss Martin. Oops. Shirley Trapani, do you have public comment?
Yes, I'm speaking on behalf of myself individually. I am presently an LMSW and an LPC / supervisor, and I was just wondering, when it comes time for me to take my fingerprints, may I have just the one set that can be transferred amongst the two boards? That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Trapani.
Yeah, it's Trapani. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Trapani. Appreciate
Yes,
that.
ma'am. Thank you.
I have NASW Texas. Do you have public comment?
Yes, thank you. My name is Will Francis, and I'm the Executive Director for the National Association of Social Workers Texas chapter. First of all, I would just like to also say thank you. Daryl Spigg, Sarah Fasholtz, Tim Speer. I receive incredibly fast and great responses from them, and I would just like to say thanks to them. And I know there's many staff I did not name, and we appreciate them as well. I would like to put a recommendation out there, and I hope that someone in this committee picks it up, and I'd be more than happy to talk with them about it. But it's about the continuing education, the role that plays within social work. I do think we need to have a discussion about something along the lines of cultural competency, about really looking at what it means to sort of actually have those CEs as part of the renewal every 2 years. I think the psychologists do something really well with that, where they keep it pretty broad and don't necessarily drill down into what the exact subjects are, but they ask people to go out there and ensure that they're continuing to learn about that. I would love to see that. And then again, not the psychologists are always the best way to go, but I do think that they have definitely some good ideas. They have a requirement where 50% of their CEs must come from either an association or a university or another sort of very much recognized institution within the profession. And then the other 50% can sort of be out there. Since our board no longer certifies CE providers in Texas, I think that's a really good way to go about it. And I would love to see this board discuss that, just so that there's an understanding that accountability is a part of the CE process. So would love to see continuing education on a future board agenda. And thank you for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you, Mr. Francis. Mr. Speer, do you have public comment?
Not public comment. I was unable to log in through the regular fashion, but Ms. Trapani's question is answered on our website. We have a fingerprint information page. So if Ms. Trapani is still listening, she can go to our website on the social work board webpage, access the fingerprint information, and that particular question of hers is answered.
Thank you. I see no other public comment. I have one who's here by phone, so she wouldn't be able to raise a hand. Caller, do you have public comment? Caller, do you have public comment? Hearing no comment and seeing no other raised hands, I conclude that public comment has ended.
All right, thank you, Board Administrator Sarah. So, and I want to second the things that Mr. Speer talked about. I know he has worked on, and I have been able to see the fingerprint page that he's talking about, and it's very clear about as far as information for all members of the social work board. I haven't ventured out to the others, but and he has also worked with staff, and they've created a sort of a how-to page as far as the link between the social work board and ASWB is all the steps required to achieve licensure. And those items are very helpful. We were getting several, or at least I had gotten several emails from folks out there that really didn't have an idea of what to do first. And that's all been laid out very clearly now. And I followed it all the way up to the point where you have to register just to see that I could understand it. And it's really clear. And I want to thank Tim and his folks for taking care of that. Other than that, I've made notes of the public comments that came in, and we can, the board can discuss adding some of that to possible a future meeting. So thank you, public, for joining us. Without y'all keeping us informed about what's going on across the state, it's hard for us to know what folks are really asking for out there. So thank you for joining in. So without further public comment and anything else, if no one has anything this morning, we can go ahead and seek to adjourn.
Chair.
Yes, sir, Daryl.
Chair Brumley, I was just going to say in response to the comments about CEs, I think that's one of the issues that had come up at the council, where we're looking at putting together that ad hoc committee that's going to look at areas that can be standardized across all the boards under the council. I know CE was one of the subjects that came up. We were discussing that. So that's actually the formation of that council, or that committee, is actually on the next council agenda for May 4th. So that committee will be put together, I suspect. And then again, I suspect that CE is going to be one of the areas where they're looking at standardization across the board so that we're all on the same page.
That sounds wonderful. And Daryl, to that, I guess, can we look on the psychology page, as Will talked about, and see there where their requirements are, where he was talking about where cultural competency is included?
It's in the rules. Yeah, it's in psychology's rules.
Okay.
I'll shoot that out to Sarah, that rule number, so that she can distribute it to all of you, so you can look at what Will's talking about.
Okay, that sounds great. Appreciate that. So, all right. Anyone else out there? Not hearing nothing. I guess we could ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Second.
I'll second it.
All right. Thank you. I think that was Audrey. So we'll, all in favor, you can signify by leaving the meeting.
Adios.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank y'all.
Bye.